I'm Millie Bobby Brown and I play Enola Holmes in the new Netflix film Enola Holmes. I'm here to give you a sneak peek, a little reading moment. Enola Holmes, the case of the missing Marquess. Wait, I saw something. Rising over the housetops like an ostrich feather upon a lady's hat stood a white plume in the grey sky. The smoke of a steam locomotive. Pedaling towards it, I soon heard a roaring, shrieking, clanging noise, the engine coming in. I arrived at the platform just as it did. Only a few passengers got off, and among them I had no difficulty recognizing two tall male Londoners who had to be my brothers. One of my brothers had grown a bit stout, showing an expense of silk waistcoat. That would be Mycroft, I suppose the older by 7 years. The other, Sherlock, stood straight as a rake and lean as a greyhound, in his charcoal suit and black boots. Swinging their walking sticks, they turned their heads from side to side looking for something, but their scrutiny passed right over me. Meanwhile, everyone on the platform stole glances at them. I straightened and approached the two Londoners, not quite succeeding in holding my head high. Mr. Holmes and, Mr. Holmes? Two pairs of sharp grey eyes fixed upon me, two pairs of aristocratic brows lifted. You asked me to meet you here? Enola. They both exclaimed at once, and then, in rapid alternation, "What are you doing here?" "Why, did you not see the carriage?" We should have known her. She looks just like you, Sherlock. The taller, leaner one was indeed Sherlock then. I liked his bony face, his hawk eyes, his nose like a beak, but I sensed that for me to look like him was no compliment. I thought she was a street urchin. "On a bicycle? Why the bicycle? Where's the carriage, Enola?" I blinked. Carriage? There was a landau gathering dust in the carriage house, but there had been no horses for many years. The stout one, Mycroft, exclaimed, "Why are we paying a stable boy then, and a groom?" I beg your pardon? Are you telling me there are no horses? Later, Mycroft, you. With commanding ease, Sherlock summoned a loitering lad. "Go hire us a landau." He tossed a coin to the boy, who touched his cap and ran off. "We had better wait inside," Mycroft said. "Where's your hat, Enola?" Somehow the moment had passed for me to say, "How do you do?" Or for them to say, "So nice to see you again, my dear," and shake hands or something of that sort, even though I was ashamed of my family. But then also I was beginning to realize the "please meet at station" had been request for transportation, not for me to be present myself in person. Speaking to me, Sherlock decreed in that offhand imperial way of his, "You should have been in long skirts since you were 12. Whatever was your mother thinking of? I suppose she's gone over entirely to the suffragists." "I don't know where she's gone," I said. And to my own surprise, for I had not wept until the moment I burst into tears, further mention of Mum then was put off until we sat in the hired landau with my bicycle strapped on behind, swaying along to Kinford. I am sure that they thought I was weeping for my mum, as I was, but truthfully I was weeping for myself. Enola. Alone. That night I could not sleep. Indeed, at first I could not even be still. In my nightgown, barefoot, I paced my bedroom, as I imagined a lion at the London Zoo might pace his cage. Later, when I turned my coal oil lamp low, put out my candles and went to bed, my eyes would not close. I heard Mycroft retire to the guest bedroom. I heard Lane and Mrs. Lane tread upstairs to their quarters on the top floor, and still I lay staring at my shadows. The whole reason for my distress was not obvious, as may at first appear. It was Mycroft who had me angry, but it was my changing thoughts about my mother that made me upset, almost queasy. It feels very queer to think of one's mother as a person like oneself, not just Mum. She had been weak as well as strong. She had felt trapped, as I did. She had felt the injustice of her situation just as keenly. She had been forced to obey, as I would be forced to obey. She wanted to rebel, as desperately yearned to rebel, without knowing how I would ever or could. But in the end, she managed it. Glorious rebellion. Confound her, why had she not taken me with her? Kicking off her covers to lunge out of bed, I turned up the oil lamp, stalked to my desk. Its border of stenciled flowers did not cheer me now. Seized paper and pencil from my drawing kit and drew a furious picture of my mother. All wrinkles and jowls with her mouth, a thin line going off in her 3 stories in a basement hat, and her turkey-back jacket flourishing her umbrella like a sword, while the train of her ridiculous bustle trailed behind her. Why had she not taken me into her confidence? Why had she left me behind? Oh, very well, I could understand, however painfully, that she had not wanted to trust a young girl with her secret. But why had she not at least offered me some message of explanation? And why, oh why, had she chosen to leave me on my birthday? Mum never in her life took a stitch without thread. She must have had a reason. But what could it be?